Frenchman and a whole
Colorado?
lot more. Denver,
What's this?
the French Zerg player.
What's this SDF emote?
Oh fuck, you don't know about SDF, dog? No. Guys, can we get some Bless RNG SDF in the chat, please? We need to educate Wardy. Look, I could try. Like, here's the thing, Wardy, right? Like, obviously it's a meme. You recognize that.
Yeah, you can recognize that, yeah.
But if I were to try and explain this meme to you, there's just, like, no brakes on this meme train. It's bigger. It's bigger than any one of us, okay? SDF, it goes much further than you would think. I am not in control of SDF. SDF flows through us.
So it's like the force within us. Yes. No.
It
Let's just test the
sure
game.
does force.
Okay. I've got no idea what's going on.
Hey guys, make sure you sub, donate, follow the channel super duper fucking well.
Is that where it started?
So, do force fields start with sentries, as this meme started with Chad? I'll give you the detailed rundown in a bit. For now, let's get into the game. It's map number 1. Let me make sure we're on the right scene. We are good to go. To the top right here in WCS Austin, we've got the Red Terran Soul. Let's fix that real quick.
And in the bottom left-hand side of 16-bit, our Blue Protoss player from Team Liquid is MaNa.
How is this 1080? Yo, are we actually out doing the mainstream right now?
Of course.
Is that awkward?
How come the stream was live for hours before the mainstream?
No, I just because wasn't they did something this year. It was already 1080, right?
Yeah,
I think was 1080. So that's interesting. So I'm sorry, people brought up that it's 720 on the mainstream. Don't have an answer for you guys. All I know is that I always do my best to bring you the best that I can on base trade, and that's all I got. But we've had a lot of subs today. I haven't been able to thank most of you because it's been all over the place. We're at 71 subs today. This is actually, like, insane.
That's almost 100.
Like 99, dude, 99% of it. MC is such a good, like, baiter.
Yeah.
He just tells, like, hey guys, donate. Like $1, $3. Like he commands it.
He commands it.
Gravitas. All right, we already gave our quick TLDR, or our longer version of MaNa versus Soul, but the TLDR, I think of this, guys, is MaNa's a very solid player all around against all matchups, and Soul is a player who I think in every essence of his being can beat MaNa, but if he loses this first map, it greatly decreases the chances he'll win the series.
Yeah, I think so, and it's actually interesting. He's already got something on the right side of the map there, MaNa. It's a pylon, so that's kind of intriguing. What he's going to do with that? Maybe a Stargate coming down or so?
Oh, we'll find out in a second. I just love chat actually, like, conspiracy hats this. Yes, Base Trade TV is using up all of the bandwidth, so the mainstream only has enough for 720.
I'm just so sick of you having a
You
monopoly on the scene.
Got him.
I just can't believe it.
Oh, dude, look at these bad. We got. You guys can't see it right now. We got legends walking by us. We got Clem, Drogo, DNS, Serral, Uthermel, Kelazur. Damn. That's quite the lineup right there, boy. But yeah, there's a lot of good players here, and hopefully we'll get to see more than just MaNa today, but I've been very happy to follow him through the various casts. He is MC's son, so while MC is no longer casting with us, his legacy lives on through the player we do cast. And I guess it wasn't so crazy that he went for a Stargate. It's just proxy Stargates on the new maps are kind of risky, especially like in your tournament builds. But this will work out because this is a 3cc build out of Soul.
Yeah, he's only going to have the Marines to defend it, but I think one of the benefits is he will just be at home, right? So at least he's not going to be out on the map or anything, and he does have pretty much just prioritized Marine production, because if I'm not mistaken, he also skipped the Reaper, which means that he goes straight to the reactor, so he has Marines right from the get-go. So that does help him have enough to defend the Oracle. So I kind of feel this is okay.
If MaNa goes right away, yeah, but MaNa might wait for 2.
That's where it gets a bit trickier, but MaNa does need to do some damage, because this is a fast 3cc from Soul as well, so he can afford to lose a couple of workers along the way, as that first Marine, set of Marines are pretty well placed for the Oracle, and so far just one SCV.
Gotta be careful where the Oracle goes to, which is a problem.
It's kind of just low already. Oh, the missile turret!
Hello, goodbye.
Yeah, that was
it's really important he doesn't lose this. I mean, it doesn't need to do a lot of damage, but it most notably needs to live.
Yeah. Oh, you need to do, like, you know, you need to keep it alive, right? Because you need it to have control on the map. You need it to be able to move around and see what's going on, to scout. The Oracle does so much for you. If you lose it right away, it just really is a bit of a gunner for the Protoss player.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's Revelations, Damage, Stasis Trap, they're all really greatly beneficial. But a little bit awkward right now because he's got the Marines to deal with the Oracles, but maybe not the Oracles and the Stalkers and whatever follows up. I like the bunker playing it super safe.
Yeah, the bunker, I mean, you may as well, right? When you've got the third CC as well already. All you have to do is stay alive here. Losing this reactor will suck a little bit, but he's actually just going to lose an SCP instead, so that's a good defense actually by Soul. Even with some confidence to move forward just a little bit here. His first Marauder is on the way, and that's going to go a huge way towards actually shutting these Stalkers down and pushing those back. So that's coming up now.
It's worth noting, by the way, Stim will be finished soon. No combat shields anywhere near sites, but it is Stim, so he'll have the ability to chase these off pretty easily.
Yeah. Nicely done as that command center lands onto the third base. It's just such a fast third CC up and mining now from Soul, and obviously MaNa's got his Nexus about to finish, but usually it's the Protoss player who's a base ahead in this matchup nowadays.
Well, you know, especially when you consider he did go for a 3 CC build. This was actually kind of late in the grand scheme of things, thanks to MaNa's aggression. And ooh, even here, just grabbing a couple SCVs. Man, if he would have had the time to kill Stim, that would have been so gross.
That would have been absolutely disgusting. That would have been like when MC lost him earlier today. With like 2 seconds left on it. That was sad.
This Oracle lives barely, but hey, you know what? 6 kills total. 8 over the course of the game.
It's an efficient opening from MaNa. You know, he got value out of those Oracles in the end. So I think now he's killed 6 extra workers. I think he's done what he had to do with this.
He only lost 1 probe, but I think what I really enjoy is the fact that he did expand. Like, if this was MaNa 2 basing it up for some crazy all-in, I don't think it would work with the damage he's done. But 3 bases, up about 10 workers, income graph kind of confirming my suspicions that, yeah, MaNa's doing pretty well for the money right now. A little bit of bounce back for Soul as he mules, but those run out, and now he's back to regular mining.
Well, I mean, altogether, he would just head into a pretty standard game with that Robobay coming up right now for MaNa. It means he's going to be able to get in towards the Colossus production here potentially soon. Unless he wants to play something a little bit crazy like the Disruptors is a possibility too. So a few chances or opportunities for what MaNa wants to do. Otherwise, Soul has +1 about to finish. Obviously, he's playing heavy fire. He's going to start dropping around a little bit now as well to see what else he can get up to.
Drops are risky, though. I do like that this drop finds the Stargate. Even if you're not going to kill the Stargate, which you probably will eventually, just removing the pylon from potential warp pins is a really big deal.
Yeah. It's a nice little cleanup.
Is he just looking to tag the army?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? Because he knows it's there because of the Stargate. So if he can come in, get a tag off now, then he's going to be able to follow those bio units around.
Oh, I know I said I didn't want to bitch out, but like, I'm having some struggles here. I'm not going to lie.
Workers just slowly dying as the day goes by.
Yeah, the allergies are getting to me.
We need some talent managers over here for the community casters.
Yeah, because that's right. We're definitely viewed as talent. That's why I have a guest pass. Oh wait, it's a 3-day pleb pass. Sorry guys, looks like a couple of probes went down while we weren't looking. I'm gonna guess that was a couple Marines getting off.
Yeah, one of those moments where Soul and MaNa just kind of feeling each other out. Soul especially pushing forward, sees that Colossus, and obviously with the scan, decides he doesn't want to go in towards that, so gets out before he loses all too much and obviously can boost away. Does have a drop into the main base though, which is going to allow him to do a little bit of Widow Mine's actually going to hit the Colossus as it walks forward, so it's going to lose a little bit of health right from the get-go. And those other 2 medivacks have looped around in towards the natural as well, so actually Soul suddenly is going to get a lot done. Another drop into the third base. Loses 1 full medivac though. It might have just been fair to made it to that.
It's a little bit risky to do this as Soul. You know, MaNa's splitting his units up pretty well. There's no real weak points, at least not yet. Maybe it's something where this drop doesn't do it, the next drop doesn't do it, but the 3rd time's the charm. So I like that he's making the moves. Also, 4th baseline location is bold as hell, but this was done, of course, with the background of him having done a lot of harass. MaNa's not under that pressure anymore. He might poke out at some time.
He's going to be seeing the 4th base finish him. So I love this. The fact he's on a 4th base and MaNa's like just now thinking of going to take his own. This is going to be really great for Soul. Again, usually it's the Protoss player who's a base ahead nowadays, and especially on a map like 16-bit where it sort of feels like you should have 3 bases so easily that 4th should come kind of easily too. This game just isn't quite going the way that I think MaNa wants it to, as you see him losing an observer there as well. So Soul, another nice pick-up of that turret. Obviously it's there to kind of shut down DTs wandering in and so on, but I mean, picking off an observer is always amazing, as we do see this big push from MaNa again, ready to go into the 4th base. Let's see what he can do, but Liberators are in position.
Ooh, this fight's still gonna be rough, man. It's not a free win for Soul or MaNa. Liberator's set up pretty nice, but so are the Widow Mines. However, MaNa's managed to dodge out most of all of that, trade for a little, and then back away.
Yeah, he's going to recall here, but he loses the 4th base in the process. 11 workers go down on the bottom left side. That drop did commit across, and that's why Sol didn't want to commit to the fight. He was happy to just sort of sit back and just slowly poke away, and this worked out really well for him. I think he just killed the Warp Prism too on the top side, and the Widow Mine goes off as well. Wow. Absolutely everything that's going on for Sol right now is just going correct.
You know, it's interesting, chat brings up the fact that people are floating money, but part of this was they were getting close to that cap point. They got to that point in the game where they should be floating money, but now they're dumping them in the upgrades. And I even like the ranged weapon upgrades. There you go. Here for the Terran Air. So that's going to help the Liberators out a ton. Liberators don't two-shot a lot of units anymore, but with +3 they possibly can.
Drops again, really heavy. We're going to see a drop down the left side. That's going to get caught. It's on the natural, though. There's a massive drop getting ready to go, and MaNa's out of position, and he does have his recall on cooldown, although actually the Liberator range is helping. I think Sol's just going to commit in, because why not? The Stalkers don't really respond correctly. They should have blinked underneath and tried to target down the medevacs. Now the bio is here, supported by Liberators, and this natural might just fall.
This is going to be rough for MaNa. I mean, he's taking extra bases, and he had past 10s. Like, he had a lot of money. Now he's down to almost nothing. This was an expensive loss for him. Not just the probes, but the actual cost of the building of a new Nexus. He can't even afford it. He literally can't rebuild this base.
Yeah, just going to see this bio clean now, this assimilator here. It's going to go down, and obviously this entire base is in trouble as we see Sol now starting to step in towards the top left. He's actually got a Sense Tower building on MaNa's side of the map.
It's so aggressive and so expensive.
Yeah. MaNa's just decided not to kind of defend that anymore, by the way, so he is going to come over to the left side to defend instead because he was looking to counterattack. So Sol's going to try and see what he can do here. I don't think he can get the Nexus, so instead he's just going to get a few more probes. This just means, though, that now Sol knows he can kind of come more into the main base.
Even if he pushes to the main, look at the upgrades, Wardy.
Yeah, that's true.
Even with the 2-1 finishing, it's still +3 armor, +2 weapons. I mean, Zealot should be outclassing a lot of this, but so will MaNa's attack down the center part of the field.
Yeah, MaNa has to kind of win with this attack, though, because if he doesn't, he's going to be in so much trouble. You know, 30 workers down. MaNa's army supply is there, plus the upgrade advantage. He definitely has an army that can win this right now. So here we go, pushing in towards the 3rd base. He's just going to get in between this army, though, and the first EMP comes down. The Disruptors don't really get too much, I don't feel.
Well, they do, I'd say, because they took out the left flank almost entirely. Now the reinforcements reach in here. Stalkers and Zealots aren't much, but Stalker and Zealots look like they might be enough to finish this. Although hold the phone, Liberators are proving to be pretty good here at the end of the game.
We're going to be seeing another drop just over here, a little bit run by. Just going to get even more work as a Liberator sieges up as well. In range of a cannon, it will go down eventually. Obviously, MaNa's still dealing damage across here too, and still doesn't quite have enough to hold on yet, but MaNa lost a lot of his power units. There's no Disruptors left, there's no Colossus left, so it is just Stalkers, and over time, they'll get cleaned out.
You know, if there weren't so many Marauders, I wouldn't feel so confident in you saying that, because the Liberators aren't even that threatening. Not with this bleak control on the MaNa, but the Marauders are scary as hell for these, despite the lack of upgrades.
Gets that prison.
Starting to get concave too, more importantly.
Yeah, this bio is just a little bit too much right now. The thing is, the Stalkers, they can maybe take down the Orbital, like that might be something he wants to go for. And we see GG being called as MaNa taps out. Sol takes game 1 of the best of 3.
All right, my dude, I don't think I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna actually, hey, Zombie Grub. I'm actually not feeling so hot. Do you mind tagging in for just a little bit? Cool. All right. Hey guys, Zombie Grub's back. I can't say she's gonna stay forever, and I'm just gonna go like to the hotel and shower or something, see if that helps clear up my allergies. So hopefully I'll be back in a bit. I'm gonna give it to Wardy. We'll get into this next game though. I'll get this set up first before you toss off here. Or there you go. Plus. But yeah, I mean this happened last year at Austin too. I don't know what it is. Something about the city, dude.
The city just makes you ill.
It's not ill. It's just like allergies. Like there was I think it was 2 years ago we came here. I couldn't even go out for the after party. I was just like so like legit bedridden. So I'm trying to avoid that from happening. So I'm hoping maybe if I go refresh, you know, feel better. But all right, I'm gonna I guess pass off to you. So thanks guys. Take care of the stream. Be back in a bit.
Oh dear, Wardy's in charge. Uh-oh. I'll switch to the observer seat, guys.
Thanks, dude.
What's up, team? Alright. Rifkin's head is way bigger than mine, apparently. There we go. There we go. Alright, so I'm in charge of production. This is gonna go bad. You guys know the last time I was solely in charge of Base Trade TV? I'm trying to think, actually. I think it was the VSL. I think it was VSL Finals. You know that Team League thing they did? Oh my god, what is this DPI? Oh, this is going to be some interesting observing, guys. Alright. So, what happened? Soul won. Soul won game number 1. We're ready. Obviously, just waiting for the players to let us know that they're ready too, and they're going to get going into game 2. So I think this is the winners match of their group. So the winner of this goes into round of 32, which is really important because round of 32 is where those WCS points start. It's where the prize money starts. So obviously that's a pretty big deal to get in towards the prize money and stuff. So that's pretty important, getting towards the prize money, and it's kind of, you know, for a lot of players, obviously, like, they want to go further than round of 32, but it's a nice first step in terms of the tournament, because it's like, okay, well, at least, you know, I've offset the cost of my flight, I've offset the cost of my hotel to stay here, you know, the cost of entering into DreamHack itself, so that kind of helps. We got CG coming in to save me. Hey, yo.
Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, it's a little stressful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What you been doing?
Running around trying to get the interview set up stuff, like extra batteries, SD cards, batteries not being,
What batteries do you need?
well, the one for my camera, they weren't, it wasn't charged, even though I thought it said it was, so.
Wow.
I had to go for another one. Yeah. Where's the Twitch stuff?
Upstairs. It's really clever, right? So what you gotta do is to get upstairs, you need a wristband.
Okay.
And you get the wristband upstairs.
Okay.
So
And did they ever explain how that's supposed to work?
well, they said you take the escalator without the security guard, but they all have security guards.
So how do you?
Well, do you have press? You're
Yeah.
okay as press because you can get into the press area.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like in the press room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty.
I guess I'll do that after this.
Yeah, but it's just upstairs. It's best if you go out that way and then up. It's like
Okay,
right there.
good news.
Because we went out that way, and we went up, and then we had to walk all
And
the way back down.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah,
All right,
we're
so
not
we're
right now.
casting Soul versus MaNa.
Yeah, it's game 2. Soul is up a game. They played on 16-bit. It was a pretty standard game. Soul kind of won off the back of just drops.
Okay, cool.
He just kind of controlled the game, honestly, so.
Yeah.
It's mostly just drop heavy, running around, being a Terran.
Okay.
I have to work out, do you know how OBS works? Did I just click this?
Yeah, it's literally.
OBS is great, isn't it?
I mean, I think it's pretty alright.
It's alright. Do you use OBS?
Yeah, I do. I haven't used XSplit since like 2011.
Yeah, I still do. But only because I really can't be able to set up all my scenes again.
So I used it, I guess, when there was like free trials that it like lasted forever.
Right.
And then once they started enforcing you had to buy it, I was like, should I?
I just got a lifetime one for like $20
Yeah,
or something.
so
I was like,
the guy that I was like casting for at the time, like the league, he was like, I'll just buy one for you. But something happened where like,
it ran out after like.
I guess it ran out, I guess. Like, I don't know. So I was just
Yeah.
like, let's try OBS.
Fair enough. All right, well, we're kicking off to the bottom right-hand side here. In game 2, it is Soul, our red Terran player. He is up a game and ready to move through to the round of 32 if you can close this out.
Okay, in the top left, as the blue Brodos, he is MaNa.
Woo!
So, what part of the group is this?
Winners match.
Ah, okay. So if MaNa loses, then he's not quite out yet.
No, he's not quite out, and I think they have a group that's very winnable for either of them in second place.
Okay.
It's not like some of the groups where it's like, I think like where all 4 of them have a real chance of going in top 2. I think this is a group where MaNa and Soul really, whoever loses, I think should still go out in second quite comfortably. Like maybe they drop a map, but they should win a series. I can't remember exactly who's in the group, but it definitely, I remember it looked like that when I saw it. So.
Okay. Well, that's good news. I think MaNa's still a fan favorite. He hasn't quite gotten those results that everyone really wants him to have, just like any of the Team Liquid guys, to be honest. But
Yeah.
then we have Soul to talk about, and Soul has just been, I mean, he is the new up-and-coming Terran that everyone has their eyes on. It's really unfortunate that he underperformed for Nation Wars, because that was like a really good time to try and prove himself. And then they're just, I mean, I would not be surprised if he said they were some of the worst games of his life, because they just like, one poor thing led to another.
I feel like Soul's such an on-off player. Like, sometimes I watch Soul and I'm like, oh wow, this guy's playing really well. I can see him like taking down anyone. And then some days I watch Soul and I'm like, well, he could lose to like someone who's way below his level. And sometimes I think it's just his mindset. You know, if he gets a good matchup, if he has a good game or two, it's he's an interesting player to watch because of that, because you never really know what you're going to get. But sometimes he can show up. I was watching, stood behind him when he was playing against, I think, a Laser early in the first group stage, and he played some really good games against a Laser, so he's definitely playing good today.
Okay, that's very good to hear. As I forget who he was facing, but the Zerg was facing, well, as I said, he got pretty unlucky in those games, but he seems to be doing well today. And if he gets to the round of 32, then that would certainly put him a bit more on the map again, I guess. A lot of guys want to prove themselves since it has been so long since the last WCS event. But this little bit of pressure can be very annoying to deal with, and Extra Brain really doesn't help, as you can see. I think it's kind of soaked for the Reaper a little bit, and maybe because of it, it's saved the command center from being stalled out.
Yeah, I mean, this is nice. I mean, the fact he finishes the CC is like the most important thing here. As we see, the Cyclone is obviously the big answer to this, but it takes a little while to get up, so ideally, MaNa stopped the CC from building for a while. As it stands, it gets to morph into an orbital, it can start building up energy still. Obviously, that's all a big advantage, so that's nice. The Reaper's going to go across the map here. I like that from Soul. Just go and pick up more information when it's not really going to have much to defend. You know, it's not going to add much to the defense, right? Cyclone should be more than enough. Even against 2 Stalkers, it gets a little bit sketchy. Maybe if the 4 Marines, a couple of SCVs. He has to go now, though, because the orbital is taking a lot more damage.
Yeah, I guess that this could have been worse for Soul, but taking so long to get back down to that natural does always suck. You also aren't sure what they're doing, so it's very important that his Reaper managed to get by. Of course, there's a little hop-down spot on Catalyst, so that's nice enough. As you want to see, is a Stargate follow-up? Is it Twilight Council follow-up? Like, how fast is Blink going to be on the way? And actually, Soul is really getting revenge for that command center.
Yeah, this is actually insane. Not just the probes going down, but he forced them so far away from the mineral line for a long time, and he gets in the main to confirm the Oracle as well. So he knows exactly what is up right now, as we do see, obviously, back at home. So he'll be able to start getting ready with a Widow Mine just burrowing. He'll get another one out probably as well. Or what is this factory doing, actually? I guess he doesn't need another Widow Mine if he's got the Cyclone 2 and the Marines. So in general, he's pretty well set up. I wonder what he does with the medevac. Do you think he just picks up the Marines and the Cyclone?
I really wouldn't mind just a Widow Mine drop. Of course, his Widow Mine was protected against the Oracle, but at least something. They had some follow-up scouting, but technically he doesn't really need to do anything here. Often enough, the medevac drops just don't do anything entirely but scout, so...
It might be nice to, like, I guess there's 3 Stalkers as well. If you had, like, double Cyclone, maybe you could drop here if it was soon enough and, like, delay the Nexus, but I think his timing's kind of gone for that anyways, so...
Yeah.
I think you're right. You can just sit back at home, having the medevac to, like, lift up the Cyclone if he gets low again. Something's kind of nice anyways, just as a micro tool. And he's set up now into, like, the rest of his game as well, right? Or at least the mid-game with the 3 racks, so his production setup's there. He can just sort of build up from here and has Stim and Combat Shield to finish it around the same time in about 2 minutes. He's going to have, you know, a nice little push going with a couple more medevacs and all the rest of it. Yeah,
it is kind of noteworthy that he's not going to try any sort of tank shenanigans. He didn't need a tank defensively knowing it was a Stargate, so that's, you know, one reason not to do it. But that is a very different style of play, to go from, like, a 2-tank push into a regular bio, or just, like, right into that bio. On Catalyst, there's a couple of neat spots, and it's a small map, so sometimes I think, like, tank pushes are okay, but...
Yeah, I really like the tank pushes where you kind of come in along this right-hand side, because the Protoss is naturally, like, over to the left, right? So they don't really get to stop you or force you to siege up until you're on the 3rd base. And then it is a bit choky. You've got a couple little ledges you can, like, put the tank on, so the Zealots kind of take that little extra time to charge onto it. Yeah, I like tank pushes on Catalyst, actually. They work quite nice.
Yeah, but not something that Soul wants to do, so he's going to be, I mean... By not building any tanks, you know, you save a lot of gas, you save a lot of production, as tanks just cost a lot, and they really stop adding value to the Terran army after a while. But going right into even double drops, you haven't seen any Phoenix, and a lot of Protoss players don't. Like, if they get 2 Oracles, like, many of them won't bother getting any Phoenix whatsoever. In fact, we know MaNa is trying to get to Blink, so he has to have his Stalkers in the proper position, but... That's what the Revelation is for. Soul isn't supposed to get away with some double drops without at least MaNa knowing.
Here comes the push, though. The first Revelation will come down. Marines try to think about chasing the Oracle, but they decide not to and continue to come up through the center. Well, the 3rd and 4th medevac here as well, so now this really is kind of quite a push forwards. I mean, the biggest issue is the sentries, right? And the force fields are going to be pretty good here. So what does Soul do? Does he just go around the right-hand side? I think that's his best bet, but even that is not... guaranteed to do well, and that Stasis Ward is just waiting to grab something here.
No.
Just going to dodge it for now, but he could back away into it, and that would hurt just as much.
Oh, there it is. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's just going to go ahead and nip that push in the bud. So he's he's going to lift up. I think you noticed the Revelation has been taken off, so it's 4 Widow Mines for a drop, and this is usually effective. 4 Widow Mines get something, and the medevac often lives because it really is boost in and boost out. You're not trying to heal anything, but oh, just kidding.
Gets it. Wow, did he? Maybe he even saw it coming off. Well, actually, wait a moment, because the Stalker's out of position, so it does give Soul a chance to get in towards this third base mineral line. I kind of like that he went for the probes, knowing that the shield batteries were just healing up these units at the front. This is kind of awkward now, though, because he is in a bit of a tough position in the back. Force fields are still here. Sentries going to start going down as well, as these Stalkers with Blink Micro should be able to get the full medevac, and that's maybe even a second, not quite. Good trade for MaNa, though.
Yeah, it's... I mean, maybe Soul wanted, like, literally every single sentry, but... he did lose a lot of his momentum there, so kind of back to, 0. Now, he did add all his production already. That is to say 5 barracks and a 3rd CC, so his production is pretty solid. This will, like, last him for a little while even, until he feels the necessity to get to probably Liberators, but we do have a Robotics Bay on the way. Some Protoss have not been bothering the Colossus, and I think it's, like, really hard to tell now as a Terran, whether it's 2 base or 3 base, like, what they're opening up with, because we have a lot of experimental Protoss.
Yeah, it's I think PvT is like the most, like the matchup with the most variety, even in like build orders. There's so much you can see out of the players, and it's like even into the mid game now. You know, it's kind of weird that we have, you know, double Robo suddenly coming up, and is still going to be prepared for that. Is he going to be ready? Charge is done now as well, so obviously that's the very kind of standard things we kind of get used to seeing on the gateway units. Disruptor's going to come out here, so. Yeah. There we go. We've seen a lot more Disruptors, I feel, in the last month or two, just really kind of coming back into play as Stalkers blink for 1 and 2 Widow Mines. Now it's just Bio here, and there's just too much Protoss, and that is still pushed away. At the same time, Widow Mine drop comes in. There's also harassment on Soul's third base. The probe stack up somehow splits away towards the end, but only just.
Gosh, that was really, really close. But unfortunately, he probably stopped one too many times, so that all of the army caught up to his left side army, and Soul is now half the army supply with no superior tech units like Liberators to help hold here, and MaNa just might have won the game. If he had a Warp Prism, I'd say for sure.
Yeah, that's the one thing that he's maybe missing. He's got the slow Warpins on the pylon, but that's obviously a little bit dodgy sometimes. Marauders go down, though, which means, well, the Marines are kind of just a little bit flimsy, and SCVs do pull in. I think SCVs pull in. He might turn it around, though, because there's nothing really here to get rid of the SCVs quickly, right? So the Bio will push this back again. The lack of Zealot Warp in for a little while did stop MaNa maybe from just winning right then and there, but it's still going to be difficult for Soul.
Yeah, I think if he had instant charge out Warp-ins, then there's like twice as many SCVs dead and like a lot more army too. But MaNa still got a good, I mean, you guys could call that a counter in, and he has those Disruptors growing in numbers, like with double Robo that I don't think they've been seen yet. So again, there's that question from Soul, like, is it going to be Vikings, is it going to be Colossus or Disruptors, which Liberators are often the right choice anyways, but you don't want to accidentally walk into Colossus, or you can accidentally walk into Colossus and be okay, but you can't accidentally walk into Disruptors and be okay.
Well, MaNa just pulls back. He does have the 4th base coming up as well. The first Disruptors have obviously been coming out for a little while now. He's got 3 of them, so he's looking pretty good in that regard, as we do see Soul. Kind of time for desperate measures, right? Coming in the left-hand side with a bunch of medevacs and Liberated too, and well, Soul has his own 4th up. I mean, one thing Soul has done is keep a decent economy in this game, but there's just not going to be that much Bio here to support this Planetary Fortress, and it's just going to go down, so the 4th base goes down. At the same time, it is the drop in the main base from Soul to try and get something done here. A lot of Bio unloaded, and with a recall back home from MaNa. We'll see how that works out as he does recall back in. Soul just has to lift and get out of there. And that's the wonderful thing about recall. You can trade out a base and get home in time to defend.
Yeah, that's a pretty wonderful thing about Protoss.
There's a few wonderful things about Protoss.
Right? This does put MaNa in a pretty good position, but that now I would say the growing Liberator count with Liberator range, if it had +2 as well, I'd be like, okay, this is really what the game's going to turn into. Like, can he get that a magical Liberator number, or can he? But like without +2, it's... We'll see what happens, but that is, to me, still what the game's about. Like, Soul's a little behind. He's going to be relying a lot on Liberators being in proper positions and some really, really good anti-disruptor micro.
A couple of Widow Mines starting to get the job done here. Comes the Disruptor, obviously, again, the Disruptors are really going to be one of those units that can decide absolutely everything in these engagements in the near future. You're going to see this Bio coming forward. A Stalker or two, and low, but blinking away from the most part. Surprisingly, if I found this pylon down here, because that was warping in earlier. Obviously, it's just out of vision, but you kind of think you'd assume the Zealots had to come from somewhere, because he hasn't seen a Warp Prism since then.
Yeah, that's That is a pretty proxy pylon to be gone for 12 minutes in this game. Still alive. This could turn out well, but 2-2 is finishing for our Terran, so almost an anti-timing here from MaNa. And actually, with the concave, the disruptors did not look very effective.
That's actually really good splits from Soul. The first disruptor got a little bit of something done, but since then there really wasn't much else. So that wasn't great. And actually, MaNa's army, there's not even that many zealots, and it's kind of like really reliant on the disruptors hitting well because, or at least kind of zoning the Terran away, because if you don't zone the Terran away with these disruptors long enough, this army doesn't last very long with 5, 6, 7 zealots. You know, the Stalkers just die way too quick, and Soul's making a move up the right-hand side. I mean, I really thought Soul was kind of out of this one, but some turning points have happened. The lack of a Warp Prism maybe cost some mana, and now, well, Soul has an interesting position to siege the 4th base from. He's going to stem a little bit up towards the third tier, so pulling mana around here.
Yeah, this is really tough for MaNa, who, again, +2 is on the Liberators, not even +1 are on these Liberators. So a surplus of Blink Stalkers can still take on the army, but it's got to be like a little bit better for positioning. And MaNa is really starting to get pulled in 2 different ways, and he's not finding the Liberators at all unsieged. This is actually looking like a really good comeback for Soul. I hesitate to use that just because the time where he almost died was probably the weakest point of his game, and in general. And then the planetary was so easily replaced with his main command center. It happened so quickly. Oh, jeez.
Gets a bit of a better shot there, but it did cost a couple of disruptors because of the Liberators there. Heavy overstims though from Soul, and his medevac count has been dipping for a while because he's been focused on Liberators, so he needs to kind of sit back and wait for healing and maybe wait for a couple more medevacs in general. But he's on 5 bases now, and yes, MaNa has top right coming up, he has far left coming up, but has just been on free for the last couple of minutes, so it kind of puts Soul in, I think, a strong position again. These Liberators really carrying, but Tempest coming out, a little bit of mine's going to get blinked away from. It's still only +1 armor for MaNa, by the way, and that's kind of huge considering +2 attacks on the Terran units now.
Yeah, exactly. Soul's getting another base on location, adding on a lot of production. I think, again, the only thing he's really missing are these upgrades, but it's still working out really well for him. Just enough Liberators to zone the Protoss army out and still growing. Once he gets to 10, you really do need those Tempests. But the Tempest transition that MaNa realized he kind of needed, it did cost him like a lot to do that. That's very expensive. He only has 1 Tempest right now, so it's not really going to help him that quickly. And if Soul had a couple more medevacs, which now he has 6, oh, darn, okay, Disruptors could always change something, right?
Yeah.
I would really be giving this to Soul's army, 100%.
I think if Soul can find a way to fight now, this is amazing, by the way. He's getting so much economic damage done. Top right base is going down as well. All of these pros bar 1, maybe. Not even that one gets away. Fantastic. 21 workers down. Soul's also going to take a fight over here as well. A couple of disruptors come forwards. Bio backs away. The Liberators just sieging up from a distance. The pylon will go down. The Nexus taking some damage as well. And another couple of disruptors coming forwards. Not quite connecting yet. And man, those disruptors just being picked away at by the Liberators. And again, there's only 1 Tempest right now. So it's not enough to actually counter the ranged Liberators like it's meant to.
Yeah, exactly. I would say 3, and then you start picking them off fast enough. But even then, if your ground army's not supportive, then you know, the Terran army could get that concave. They could just, like, you know, blitz you with all the Liberators they've got. But we got Soul transitioning, realizing that the Tempest, that the army of MaNa is still good. Like, it's 100 supply, and it could even get better. And he just snipes a couple Liberators, which is quite nice.
Yeah, that was nice position. It loops around the right side, and this time Soul was not on point with repositioning the Liberators. We see a Disruptor comes in. It's a couple of units here. Probes are going down. Reinforcements from the Terran as well, but MaNa is kind of surging through this. All the Liberators are suddenly down, and the pure Archon Stalker, with the support of the Disruptors and a couple of Zealots, has more or less broken through. Soul will turn to fight. He's just going to have to keep on Kai, and I think if he can just get back home and recuperate a little bit, maybe defend on a planetary. Oh, he doesn't even have a planetary here, though, so he might lose the middle base.
That is very possible. Losing the Liberators like that, that really was still a backbone of his army.
Oh, no, the
and
Vikings.
He was caught, transitioning into those Vikings. He thought Tempest would be the main problem, so he has no Liberators. He still doesn't have any Ghosts, even though he wanted to get there. And this is another point where Soul is weak. Give him a minute, maybe he recuperates, but MaNa, hopefully this time, is going to be able to close it out.
Going to be seeing these SCVs repairing up this orbital here as it does at least survive as he gets pushed away from the center. Now, honestly, I still feel MaNa's been in stronger positions in this game, so we've definitely seen him throw one advantage this game or have an advantage taken away. We'll see if that's something that can happen again here, but MaNa this time seems pretty serious about pushing forwards, and Soul has to lift up his third base too.
Oh, it's going to die.
Yeah, it's going to go down.
That is a goner.
What's this up the left-hand side? A couple of medevacs could at least get rid of this base, and that's MaNa's only mining base right now until this one comes back up. So Soul's got plays here to get something done, but I just don't know if he can buy enough time back at home with this many disruptors.
Yeah, that's, I mean, Soul, kudos to him. He's making the right moves to try and give himself space and time. Taking out another Nexus does, like, really complicate matters, as their armies, especially as he grows his Liberator count again, are going to be, like, it's going to come down to positioning. Like, no one really has the super, super dominating force. They both have okay forces and okay economies here, as that Nexus was taken out. This is so oversaturated.
There's like nothing over here. There's like a couple of Zealots and a couple of Stalkers. Big fight over on the right-hand side again is being threatened. I was just going to run on in. I mean, do you get this Nexus in time before these units come down the ramp? Probably not. Probes are even going to fight because he knows how important this is. Big fight at the same time on the other side. Disruptors haven't quite connected just yet. MaNa still seems to have the advantage just about, and he has defended over here too. Yeah,
maybe should have gone directly for those probes, but there was a ton of things happening at once, and he had to respond to the army movements with a little bit of guesswork. MaNa's the one that has the observers, but that planetary is going to be absolutely key. He loses his only Tempest, and he does not... He can't lose those disruptors. He's going to retreat.
I think the disruptors are on cooldown, though. He doesn't have anything to fire right now, and there isn't really much more firepower in the Protoss army. Even so, Soul is going to push this back, and MaNa is being kept alive on the back of these workers on this 4th base. He's going to run out of gas soon, so he's going to have to take new assimilators, which honestly is, at this sort of situation in the game, it's kind of expensive. We might have a bit of a base trade now, because at the very least, Soul is going to commit here to at least kill this mineral line.
Yeah, that's just where it's going to go. There's always that part of the base trade for Terran where they're like, should I put my Liberators back home or should I keep them here? And it's a tough decision to make because, of course, the Protoss still has recall to use. Oh gosh.
My God, disruptors are disgusting sometimes when they hit on everything. Those SCVs, their planetary fortress is taken down. Of course, the Soul's still pushing towards the top left. Now, at some point, there's got to be a recall available for MaNa, right? And there it is. He's going to use it straight away to, obviously, this base, because actually there's nowhere else. The Liberator siege up on top, though. Stalkers have already blinked, so now this army is a little bit kind of tucked in and unable to get out, but there's that one Tempest that can slowly pick away at the Liberators.
But very slowly. I mean, that was not...
Yeah, I don't even know.
That was not the greatest, like, recall reaction. Like, he did push into those Liberators, but it ultimately, time is on his side in a very weird way.
Yeah.
Like, the production is almost killable by Soul, but not quite. But he's losing out on his Liberators very, very slowly, so...
But MaNa has no economy. He's got no income anymore, really, right?
Yeah.
So Soul does, because he landed this orbital back over here. Even if it's just half a base, it's half a base more than what MaNa has, and that Tempest is so low at the moment. Soul's going to go for it. He knows if the Tempest goes down, the Liberators are completely safe. And now Soul does have just however much time he needs.
Yeah, now this is... Yeah, time is no longer on the Tempest side. Like, those Liberators now have... They're going to take too effective of a fight, no matter what happens here. And if he doesn't save this, that's another Nexus down. That's a lot of production down, a lot of tech down. And I think Soul might have done it.
Well, Stalkers blink through. The Liberators are going to go down pretty quickly if the +3 attack on the Stalkers. Splitting away from the Disruptors. The Disruptors get some kill. There was reinforcements coming up, and if they get here before the Disruptors are off cooldown, he's going to get a lot of damage done. Disruptors can't hit anything at all. There's one. He gets 2 Marauders. The next Disruptor goes down as well. There's 4 Stalkers left, and there's like 3 Marines. The Marines are going to die as well. It's a 50 supply game between them.
Okay, but Soul has 26 SCVs and still at least 1 Mule being called down here. He's on a 1 orbital. MaNa doesn't have a gas bank. He doesn't have a mineral bank. He has a single Disruptor that can consistently change the tides of battle, but he doesn't really have a way to protect it anymore in case he misses.
Yeah, the 26 SCVs, even if they're long distance mining, they're doing something. Soul just needs to get a Marauder out, maybe the Medevac as well. And here we go, the Disruptor shot gets 2 of the Marines. It's actually pretty good considering the situation. SCVs are chasing the Disruptor, 2 Marines are going to commit. They get the Disruptor, the Stalkers micro away. Oh my God, the Stalkers are going to kill the Marines though. The Marauder Marine has to back off.
Oh, that's... I mean, MaNa's taking his 3rd base, but...
he doesn't have the Well, I mean, it's 14 SCVs now.
He's gonna lose more. Blink is,
oh my God.
I guess we shouldn't have underestimated Blink as well, because Disruptors are really where the shots are getting in, but Blink, against, you know, someone who's struggling to get medevacs, who has struggled this entire game, really, to have a solid medevac count. It's scary, though. Every single Marine that's added at +3 attack, 2 armor.
There's that Marauder now as well, and obviously it must have concussive shots, right? So it's got that ability to catch, like, if you just catch 1 Stalker right now, that's obviously a massive deal compared to what you usually expect it to be.
I love how That's 11 probes to 6 SCVs now. Like, that's
Yeah.
pretty close to being an even economy with a mule.
That's absolutely insane. He's dropping across here of these units. So the Stalkers are out of position. Where's obviously the Disruptor died, right? Well, there is the cannon in the back.
Oh, hero
Probes going
cannon.
down. He's actually going to recall the Stalkers because that's all he has to fight with. Soul's like, okay, I'm out of here. The free Stalker recall.
I don't know what MaNa can really do though. Like maybe if he had kept the army back with warpins, like
yeah, maybe.
But yeah, this army does fit out better.
I think there's just a bit too much bio coming in, and at the end of the day, like in these sort of numbers, bio is just that much better. What a game!
That was fun.
Absolutely amazing game number 2 between Soul and MaNa. I mean, wow. I have no words.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to cast it, but
yeah.
Congrats to Soul, who now advances on to the bracket, and MaNa now has to face someone in a decider match, I guess. We don't know who.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for me. I got to go do some interviews. So.
Cool. I have no idea what's going to happen next, so we'll find out.
You'll find out.
We'll
buy all the time in the world.
Out. How do I?
Guys.
Okay, is this mute for microphones?
Yeah, click on it.
Okay, got it. Okay, thanks, EG. Okay, guys. So, Soul advances to the round of 32. He is going to be obviously playing Group Stage 3. That is the round of 32. That comes up soon. That's where the players such as Neeb, Serral, Kalazur, they start to come into the play. The players who qualified from the WCS Challenger regions. So that's Group Stage 3 that comes up in, I guess it's like scheduled to be in like maybe about an hour, but obviously it kind of depends a little bit. I'm just looking at the time just to see kind of when the games might start. So I think it's probably scheduled for like an hour time. But it obviously depends if Group Stage 2 is going to finish up in time and stuff like that. And so on and so on. Ask a player to cast for me. Well, I would love to do that, but I kind of feel bad because most of the players have either been eliminated, so they're kind of not in the mood, or they're kind of about to play, right? So it doesn't really make sense to ask a player just yet. So I don't know what the plan currently is, but I also have to find a game straight up. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna take ourselves. I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm just gonna run some ads and tell Rifkin to PayPal me it later. You know, make that dollar while I'm here. I'm gonna put some music on. I think. Hopefully, I don't get Rifkin banned from Twitch, because then he'd be real mad at me. Like, you closed the music. Oh my god, Monster Cat. Does that just come up with like Monster Cat? Is this it? What was he on before? That's not it. Aye. Is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. Alright, so I'm going to put the music on, guys. You're going to listen to the music. I'm going to figure out what game is sort of starting at some point. And you guys can sort of like just chill out and have a good time. So, peace. I should be back because I said I'd cast for a bit. So, yeah. I'll hopefully have a game. Hopefully something good's about to start. Is that loud? That sounds loud. That sounded really loud.